Hello brothers and sisters, I'm extremely happy to see you again through this YouTube channel. The topic for today is Gideon the Mighty Fighter. As the story continues, Gideon wants to confirm if it is really the Lord who is speaking to him. We see that in Judges chapter 6 verse 17. If now I have found favor in your sight, then show me a sign that it is you who talk to me. Gideon here asks for a sign. In verses 20 and 21, Gideon sees the angel of the Lord. The angel of God said to him, "Take the meat and the unleavened bread and lay them on this rock and pour out the broth," and he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put out the end of the staff that was in his hand and touched the meat and the unleavened bread, and fire rose out of the rock and consumed the meat and the unleavened bread, and the angel of the Lord departed out of his sight. So this is where the angel confirms Gideon that he was the one who's talking to him, and there that place is called the Lord Shalom, because the Lord said, "Peace be with you, do not fear, you shall not die." The next part of the story, where at the same night the Lord meets Gideon and asks him to tear down all the altar which was built for Baal, and asks Gideon to build the altar for the Lord. At the same night, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, so Gideon tore out all the other altars of the idols and built an altar for the Lord and sacrificed there. Now let's see the signs of the fleece. Gideon repeatedly asked God for the signs. We see that from the verse 36, where Gideon brings a fleece, which is woolen material, where he puts it there, and he asks God to show him a sign where the fleece should be wet with the dew and other ground should be dry. And again he asks God to show another sign where the fleece should be dry but the ground should be wet. How much proof of God's will does one person need? Though the angel assured success, it took fright and wanted to double check by asking miracles. In some circles today, putting a fleece has come to mean asking God to do something unusual. However, Gideon's actions seem more like a lack of faith than a model of seeking God's guidance. Let's move to chapter 7. Here we see that Gideon and his army are together now to fight against Midianites. Now Gideon had 32,000 men, but God says they are more in number, so the ones who are in fear, let them return back. And 22,000 of them returned back, with 10,000 people left. Again God says this 10,000 is huge in number, so let me have a test. Bring them to the water and I will decide who will go with you and who will not go with you. So only 300 people lapped the water with their hands and others bent on their knees. God decided to give them victory with this 300. At the same night, God spoke to Gideon and said, "If you are afraid, go with your servant Purah." And when Gideon came there, were two people talking. The one had a dream, which is in verse 13. He said, "I have just had a dream. To my surprise, a loaf of barley bread trembled into the camp of Midianites. It came to a tent and struck it, so that it fell and overturned, and the tent collapsed." Then his companion answered and said, "This is nothing else but the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hand God has delivered Midian and the whole camp." When Gideon heard this, he was surprised and worshipped God and went back. Now let's imagine us in Gideon's place with 32,000 men. We would have asked God for more men, but Gideon here did not say anything, because the 32 was not even the 1/3 of Midianite army. Midianite army had consisted of 135,000 soldiers. We see that in 8th chapter verse 10, about 15,000 men who were left, and 120,000 men. So it was total of 135,000 people. Finally, Gideon won a surprise victory in the middle of the night with a small band of men. This part of the story briefs us the young men's ability and a matchless victory when God is with us. Amen.